Performance. As your family doctor, I want to begin by addressing a belief that quietly harms many men after the age of 50, the idea that constant fatigue, reduced strength, slower recovery, performance, and declining confidence are simply the price of getting older. In my clinic, I hear this almost every day. Men tell me they feel off, not sick enough to worry, but not well enough to feel strong or energetic. Performance. What often surprises them is that these changes are very frequently linked to a hidden nutritional gap rather than unavoidable aging. And one of the most common and most overlooked gaps is vitamin D, performance. Here is the first important hook I want you to think about. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin in the traditional sense. In the male body, it behaves much more like a hormone. It interacts directly with receptors in muscles, performance, blood vessels, the immune system, and the brain. After the age of 50, your skin produces significantly less vitamin D from sunlight. Your kidneys convert it less efficiently into its active form, performance, and your lifestyle often includes more time indoors. This combination makes deficiency extremely common, even in men who believe they are otherwise healthy. When vitamin D levels fall, the body doesn't fail loudly. It fails quietly. Muscle strength declines gradually, reaction time slows, and endurance drops. Performance. Many men assume this means they are just getting weaker, when in reality their muscles are not receiving the signals they need to function efficiently. Vitamin D plays a critical role in muscle contraction and protein synthesis, which is why low levels are often associated with muscle loss and increased risk of falls in older adults. The body is still capable for it, but it is being held back. Another hook many men don't expect is the connection between vitamin D and male hormones. Vitamin D receptors are present in the testes and in tissues that respond to testosterone. When vitamin D is low, testosterone signaling can become less effective, even if hormone levels appear normal on paper. This can translate into lower drive, reduced confidence, and a general sense that your energy is not what it used to be. Men often chase expensive supplements or stimulants, not realizing that their foundation is unstable. Vitamin D also plays a key role in vascular health, performance, which directly affects stamina and potency. Healthy blood flow depends on flexible, responsive blood vessels and proper nitric oxide activity. Performance. Low vitamin D is associated with increased inflammation and stiffness in the blood vessels, which can quietly impair circulation over time. This doesn't happen overnight, but it accumulates year after year. Performance, making physical performance feel harder than it should. One of the most underestimated effects of low vitamin D is its impact on the nervous system and mood. Men with insufficient vitamin D often report low motivation, performance, irritability, and mental fatigue. This is not weakness or lack of discipline. It is biology. Vitamin D influences neurotransmitters involved in motivation, focus, and emotional balance. When these systems are under-supported, performance, even simple tasks can feel exhausting. What makes this issue particularly important after 50 is that vitamin D deficiency often exists without obvious warning signs. You can eat reasonably well, stay active, and still be low. That is why I emphasize to my patients that aging does not automatically mean decline. Many of the changes men accept as normal are actually signals that the body is missing key support. Performance. When vitamin D levels are restored to a healthy range, the body often responds in subtle but meaningful ways. Muscles recover better, daily energy feels steadier, and overall resilience improves. Performance. This is not about turning back the clock, it is about allowing your body to function as it was designed to, even as you age. Performance. As your family doctor, I want you to understand something very important about sleep after the age of 50. Sleeping fewer hours or waking up tired is not simply a normal part of getting older. In my practice, performance. Many men tell me they go to bed on time, avoid heavy meals at night, and still wake up feeling unrefreshed. The hidden hook here is that sleep is not just about time in bed. Performance. It is about the body's ability to move smoothly through deep, restorative sleep stages. One of the most overlooked factors interfering with this process is inadequate vitamin D. Performance. Vitamin D plays a direct role in the brain centers that regulate the sleep-wake cycle. Receptors for vitamin D are found in areas of the brain involved in melatonin production and circadian rhythm control. Performance. When vitamin D levels are low, these systems can fall out of sync. Men may fall asleep quickly but wake up multiple times during the night, or they may sleep for many hours yet never feel fully rested. Performance. This is often mistaken for stress or aging, when in reality the brain is not receiving the biochemical support it needs to maintain deep sleep. A powerful hook many men find surprising is that vitamin D also influences nighttime inflammation. As we age, low-grade inflammation becomes more common, particularly in joints, muscles, and blood vessels. At night, performance. This inflammation can trigger micro-awakenings that you may not even remember, but that fragment your sleep. Vitamin D has anti-inflammatory effects that help calm these processes, allowing the nervous system to relax fully. Performance. When inflammation settles, the body can stay in deeper sleep phases longer, which is where real recovery occurs. Another critical connection lies in how vitamin D supports muscle and nerve relaxation during sleep. Men with low vitamin D often experience nighttime restlessness, leg discomfort, or a sense of physical tension that prevents full relaxation. Vitamin D helps regulate calcium balance in muscle cells, formants, which is essential for proper contraction and relaxation. When this system is supported, the body can release tension at night instead of holding it, making sleep feel deeper and more continuous. So vitamin D also supports hormonal rhythms that are meant to reset overnight. Testosterone, growth hormone, and other repair-related hormones are primarily released during deep sleep. Formants. If sleep is shallow or frequently interrupted, these hormonal pulses become weaker. Adequate vitamin D helps create the internal environment needed for these hormones to function efficiently. Performance. This is why improving vitamin D status often leads to better morning energy, improved mood, and a stronger sense of vitality, even without changing total sleep hours. Performance. One of the most important clinical observations I share with my patients is that taking vitamin D consistently in the evening with a light meal can support these nighttime processes. This is not a sedative effect. Performance. The vitamin D does not force sleep. Instead, it supports the body's natural ability to settle, repair, and restore itself. Over time, men often report fewer nighttime awakenings, more vivid and refreshing sleep, and a clearer head in the morning. Sleep is when the body performs its deepest maintenance work, repairing tissues, regulating immune function, and resetting the nervous system. When vitamin D is low, performance, this maintenance becomes inefficient and the body starts each day already behind. Restoring adequate vitamin D does not guarantee perfect sleep performance, but it removes a major hidden obstacle that many men never realize is holding them back. Performance. As your family doctor, I want to speak plainly about male potency after 50 because this topic is often surrounded by embarrassment, missing formation, and unrealistic promises. Many men quietly notice changes in performance, stamina, or confidence and immediately assume the problem is purely hormonal or psychological. The important hook I want you to hear first is this: potency is not a single function. Performance. It is the final result of healthy blood flow, responsive nerves, balanced hormones, and low inflammation working together. When even one of these systems is under-supported, performance can decline. Performance. And vitamin D plays a meaningful role in all of them. One of the most overlooked contributors to male performance is circulation. Potency depends on the ability of blood vessels to widen, respond quickly, performance, and deliver oxygen-rich blood where it is needed. Vitamin D supports the health of the inner lining of blood vessels, known as the endothelium. When vitamin D levels are low, this lining becomes less flexible and more inflamed. Performance. The hook here is subtle but powerful. Circulation problems do not begin in the bedroom. They begin years earlier in the blood vessels themselves. Supporting vitamin D helps maintain vascular responsiveness, which is essential for reliable performance. Vitamin D also influences nitric oxide production, a key molecule involved in blood vessel relaxation. Nitric oxide allows blood vessels to expand efficiently, performance, supporting firmness and endurance. Low vitamin D has been associated with reduced nitric oxide activity, which can quietly undermine performance even in men who appear otherwise healthy. Performance. Many men chase fast-acting solutions without realizing that their body lacks the basic biochemical support required for natural responsiveness. Another critical but often ignored factor is nerve signaling. Performance. Potency relies on precise communication between the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves. Vitamin D supports nerve health by reducing inflammation and supporting protective nerve coatings. When vitamin D is insufficient, nerve signals can become slower or less efficient. This can translate into delayed response, reduced sensitivity, or inconsistent performance. The hook many men miss is that this is not a loss of desire or masculinity, performance. It is a communication issue within the nervous system. Hormonal balance is another essential layer. While vitamin D is not testosterone itself, it supports how testosterone works in the body. Performance. Vitamin D receptors are present in tissues that respond to male hormones, and adequate levels help optimize hormonal signaling. Men with low vitamin D may have testosterone levels that appear acceptable on lab tests, yet their bodies do not respond as strongly as they should. This can lead to reduced drive, lower confidence, and diminished physical response. Restoring vitamin D helps the body use its existing hormones more effectively. Performance. Inflammation quietly ties all of these systems together. Chronic low-grade inflammation increases with age and interferes with circulation, nerve function, and hormone signaling. Performance. Vitamin D has anti-inflammatory effects that help calm this internal noise. When inflammation is reduced, the body can redirect energy toward performance and recovery rather than constant repair. Performance. Many men are surprised to find that addressing inflammation improves not only potency, but also joint comfort, stamina, and overall well-being. What I emphasize to my patients is that potency is a reflection of overall health, not an isolated problem. Supporting vitamin D levels is not about instant results or unrealistic expectations. It is about rebuilding the physiological foundation that allows confidence, responsiveness, performance, and vitality to return naturally. When the body's systems are supported, performance often follows in a steady, sustainable way without relying on extreme measures or short-term fixes. Performance. As your family doctor, I want to shift the conversation away from quick fixes and towards something far more effective and sustainable, building a long-term health foundation. Performance. Many men over 50 look for a single solution to restore energy, strength, sleep, and confidence, but the real hook here is that the body works as an integrated system. Performance. Vitamin D is most powerful not when it is treated as a miracle supplement, but when it is combined with daily habits that allow it to do its job properly. When these pieces come together, the results are often subtle at first, performance, then deeply transformative. One of the most important factors that determines how well vitamin D works is regular physical movement. Muscles are not just for strength, they are active metabolic organs. Performance. When you move your body through walking, resistance training, or light strength exercises, you increase vitamin D receptor activity in muscle tissue. This means the same amount of vitamin D becomes more effective. Performance. The hook many men miss is that supplementation without movement is like fuel without an engine. Even modest, consistent activity dramatically improves how the body uses vitamin D. Performance. Sunlight exposure is another foundational element. While supplementation can correct deficiencies, natural sunlight plays a unique role in regulating circadian rhythms and supporting vitamin D metabolism. Performance. Short periods of daylight exposure, especially in the morning or early afternoon, help synchronize sleep, wake cycles, and hormone rhythms. This improves sleep quality at night and enhances the restorative effects of vitamin D. Focus only on pills and ignore the powerful biological signal that sunlight provides to the brain. Nutrition also determines whether vitamin D becomes an asset or remains underutilized. Vitamin D is fat-soluble form, meaning it requires healthy dietary fats for proper absorption. Diets extremely low in healthy fats can limit its effectiveness. Adequate protein intake is equally important. Performance, as protein supports muscle repair and hormone transport. The hook here is simple but often overlooked. You cannot supplement your way out of poor nutrition. Performance. Vitamin D works best when the body has the building blocks it needs to respond. Sleep habits form another critical layer of this foundation. Going to bed at consistent times, limiting late night screen exposure, performance, and allowing the body to enter deep sleep stages regularly amplifies the benefits of vitamin D during deep sleep. The body repairs tissues, regulates immune function, and resets hormonal signals. Performance, vitamin D supports these processes, but only if sleep is protected. Many men sabotage this unknowingly by treating sleep as optional rather than essential maintenance. Performance, stress management is another factor that quietly determines success. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which interfere with vitamin D activity, hormone balance, and muscle recovery. Performance. Simple practices such as breathing exercises, short walks, or quiet reflection can lower stress hormones and improve the body's responsiveness. Performance. The hook many men find surprising is that mental stress can blunt physical results just as much as poor diet or inactivity. What I emphasize in clinical practice is consistency, not perfection. Performance. Small daily habits practiced over months create far more change than extreme efforts practiced briefly. Vitamin D becomes a stabilizing force within this system, supporting resilience rather than forcing performance. Performance. When men commit to movement, nourishment, sunlight, rest, and stress control alongside proper vitamin D support, they often rediscover strength, clarity, and confidence in a way that feels natural and sustainable.